Hey, back again. This is a very special political pipe in which we need to discuss what's happening around us right now with the Biden administration. Because this is very similar to King George III in England during the Revolutionary days. So, sorry. So let's look at the Revolutionary days. In 1773, they held one meeting at a house in Philadelphia, which was called the First Continental Congress. Representatives from all 13 colonies came to discuss this dwindling relationship we had with England and with the throne, because we had petitioned to the king and exhausted every peaceful resource. And King George III responded by sending troops, sending his redcoats to the new lands, because they wanted to take our muskets and they wanted to station a guard in every house. Now, imagine the government today came to you and said you had to have a soldier stationed in every house to keep you in line, and that you must give up your firearms and your right to self-protection. So they held their first conference, Continental Congress, okay? And a representative from Virginia said that we must have a second Congress in 1775 if our demands are not met with peace and with reason. So they had a second Congress in 1775. And on that Congress, Representative from Virginia, Patrick Henry, gave this riveting speech on the floor. And I think we all need to sit and listen to it again, because this speech that Patrick Henry gave is very similar to what's happening today. And so here it is. Mr. President, it is natural to indulge in the illusion of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against a painful truth and listen to the song of that siren till she will transform us into beasts. It is the part of wise Is it the part of wise men engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of the number of those who have eyes not see and having ears not hear the things which so nearly concern their temporal salvation? For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, I am willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst, and to provide for it. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know of no way of judging future but by the past, and judging by the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry in the last 10 years to justify those hopes which gentlemen have been pleased to solace themselves and the House. It that insidious with which our petition has been lately received? Trust it not, sir. It will prove a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comparts with those warlike preparations which cover our waters and darken our land. Are fleets of armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? Have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. There are the implements of war and subjugation. the last argument to which the kings resort. I ask, gentlemen, sir, what means the martial array, if its purpose be not to force us to submission? Can gentlemen assign any possible motive for it? Has Great Britain any enemy in this quarter of the world to call on all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir, she has none. They're, they are meant for us. They can be meant for no other. They are sent over to bind and rivet up on those chains which the British ministry have been so long forging. And what have we to oppose them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we have been trying that for the last 10 years. Have we anything new to offer upon the subject? Nothing. We have held the subject up in every light of which it is capable, but it has been in vain. Shall we resort to entreaty and humble supplication? What terms shall we find which have not been already exhausted? Let us not, I beseech you, sir, deceive ourselves. Sir, we have done everything that could be done to avert the storm which is now coming on. We have petitioned. We have demonstrated. We have supplicated. We have prostrated ourselves before the throne and have implored its interposition to arrest the tyrannical hands of the ministry of Parliament. Our petitions have been slighted. Our demonstrations have produced additional violence and insult. Our supplications have been disregarded. We have been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne in vain. After these things, may we indulge the found hope of peace and reconciliation. There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean to preserve invalid those inestimable privileges for which we have to abandon the noble struggle in which we have been so long engaged, and which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our content shall be obtained. We must fight. I repeat, sir, we must fight. An appeal to arms and to the God of hosts is all that we have left. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be next week or next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed and when a British guard shall be stationed at every house? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means as effectual resistance by laying supinely on our backs and hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemies have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak if we make a proper use of those means which the God of nature hath placed in our power. The millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country as that which we possess, are inevitable by any force which our enemy can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who prescribes over the destiny of nations, and who will raise up friends to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sir, we have no election if we base enough to desire it. It is now too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat, but in submission and slavery our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat, sir, let it come. It is in vain, sir, to intentuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war has actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the fields. Why stand we here idle? What is it that gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it. Almighty God, I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. It was 1 week later, after that speech was given, that the Battle of Lexington began, which kicked off the American Revolution. I just thought we needed to all hear that speech, because if you take British crown or throne, all those words, replace them with Democrats, Biden administration, socialists, you see that this still stands relevant today. Relevant, sorry. Anyway, so what do you all think? Leave me a comment, drop a like, share this video, help get the message out there. As for me, what do I think? I think the same thing Patrick Henry thought in 1775. Give me liberty or give me death. You can all put that in your pipe and smoke it.